Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Table Talk Thursdays with Elyse Ann Psychic. That is me. And I am the Psychic Liaison, Bridge to the Unseen. And tonight, I want to talk a little bit here about how do you help yourself handle the chaos in the environment that we're living in right now. And so as I'm waiting for people to arrive, um, I am going to start with a message for all. Hi, welcome. Hi, Carissa. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for being here this evening. And if you're here, you can say hi if you'd like. And like I said, it's Table Talk Thursdays. Hi, Michelle. And we're going to talk about, how to help yourself in this chaotic environment. And I was told by Spirit that we're going to pull a couple cards for everyone. And we'll share that this evening and see what Spirit wants to say about things. So don't overdo. Okay, that's perfect for all of us because of all this chaotic energy and because everyone is, most everyone is having such a difficult time. Um, we tend to push also. We're not unplugging. We're not stepping away as much as we would be healthy for us. And by the way, as you come in, say hi if you have a question, or also, this is an open forum discussion, sharing. If you have any great ideas about our topic and so forth, please go ahead and put it in the comments. The whole idea behind this is to be interactive. So, hi, Jerry, how are you? And Ashton, hi, how are you? Welcome. So, we're talking a little bit about some of the messages from Spirit concerning helping ourselves during this time period. The energy is at such a high vibration. It's at such a level that it's several reasons why. First of all, um, yes, very true, Ashton. Ashton just said, I just want everybody to know this energy is whack. Yes, it's absolutely the truth. And a lot of people, what's happening like I said, it's multiple things. First of all, as we know in this country, we're and this is not about politics, please. This is not a them, us, or any of that. But it's the overall arching issue that we have that's so chaotic. Because we're in a place where people seem to feel, hi, Kara, people seem to feel that their side should win, and there's a lot of vitriol being slung around. And by the way, excuse me one moment. Hi, Susan, welcome. Kara, Thursday nights are Table Talk Thursdays. I don't do any individual mini readings. That's only on Wednesdays from at 11 a.m. Arizona time. But please, I would love for you to stay, and Spirit will be giving us messages as we, hi, Angel Heart, how are you? As we go along. So if you'd like to stay, I would love to have you here and participate with our open forum. Okay, so the energy, the energy, the energy, the energy. I talk about it a lot because people are being very, very, very affected by it, not only by the vitriol of all the energy that's being slung around. And I know that some people try and stay way out of the fray with the media and not look at the news and things like that, which is very, very healthy too. But the thing that we need to recognize is we are vibrational energy beings. We're energy beings. So no matter what we do, in some ways, we can do our best to protect ourselves. We can, we're still going to get hit by that energy. Some people are very aware because they have very, very deep and intense emotional reactions. Other people just aren't feeling great, but they don't understand why. And what is happening also in this time period is that, like I started to say, the energies are ramping up and the veil is thinning. And probably some of you have heard that over and over quite a lot recently. But it's true, the veil is truly thinning. And I've had so many clients reach out to me and say, I always kind of knew that, when I was little, I could feel things, or, and then, but now they are, gee, I'm seeing spirits everywhere and I know I can hear them talking to me. So people are looking for guidance on multiple levels. And thinking about what we can do to help ourselves manage that chaos. Some of it is pretty no, not normal. What's the word I'm looking for? Kind of standard practice. That's the word I'm looking for. We can meditate. We can, which is great. The one thing about meditation, remember, meditation can come in many different forms. I know for myself, when I meditate, I fall asleep. But I also know that I'm getting my messages, even though I'm sleeping. I'm getting the messages I need to get. So, I'm going to just throw out a list, and some of them you probably go, yeah, 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 that's pretty common. But for those of you who maybe haven't thought about some of these things. Okay. Do you have a favorite scented candle or incense? Enjoy. It's about creating enjoyment in your world. Is there a movie or a TV show that you get a lot of pleasure out of? Laughter. I have to have laughter all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but I laugh a lot. Those of you who have been to my lives, I enjoy life the best I can. But look, we're human. And the other piece on some of this on how to help yourself is to recognize and acknowledge and honor your emotions, your feelings, the chaos, the anxiety, the fear. It's not about living in it, but it's about acknowledging it so that you can then release it. Because if you don't acknowledge it first, it kind of gets stuck. So, and as I'm talking about this, I would love to have you guys give me your suggestions as to what you do to help yourself manage. If you have a tip, a story, whatever it is. Again, I am here not to necessarily talk at you the whole time, because I'm not going to do that for an hour. So feel free to share. And you're in a safe space here. We're all here for the help and the love and the care and the compassion. Okay, so that brings me to another piece of what we can do to help ourselves. And that is give ourselves love and compassion. As human beings, we tend to go at ourselves, we tend to beat ourselves up. Um, I, we say things to ourselves that we would never utter to another human being. And especially now, I mean, at all times, it would be great to get into the practice of not doing that to yourself and giving yourself or offering yourself grace. Um, but it's about understanding that you are human and giving yourself the grace like you would your best friend, your child, your partner, whatever it is. Because what happens is the more we can give ourselves that love and compassion, we uplift ourselves. And really, honestly, that is going to be a big key to get through this, is uplifting yourself. And it can be easy for some and not so easy for others. I come from a very negative upbringing. And so I've had to train myself and rework things, kind of like redo the recording in my head. And I used to be someone who was, I'm also a survivor. So I used to be, beat myself up. I mean, mentally beat myself up. And what I've learned over the years through my healing is that just like I was saying before, when I offer grace to other people, that I deserve it just as much, if not even more, to give to myself. It starts to uplift you out of that negativity, because there too, that negativity drags us down. And hi, Megan. Thanks for joining us. I love you too, sweetheart. Sorry, I got distracted there for a moment. Um, Dragging us down, and all that does, we just keep bringing our energy down and down and down. So learning to say, stop, literally, like saying stop to yourself. And one of the things that I do, because, as much as we heal and as much as we work through it and we get to a certain place, and we're doing better, let's say in that regard, we're not as harsh on ourselves or what have we. Some of these things are such ingrained habits that we can still slip into it. And so one of the things that I want to offer to help ourselves with the the chaotic environment. Okay, it's about creating hi, Carrie. Welcome. It's about creating the place for yourself where you can uplift yourself, because that helps combat all that other energy coming at you. The more you can surround yourself with your positive, the more it helps to shield you from that negative. So when I let's say, fall into that place, I do give myself a pep talk. I've done a lot of talking to myself through my healing, through my, as I was talking before, almost retraining my brain. And hold on a second. Hi, Amber. How are you? This evening is Table Talk Thursdays. It's an open forum where we talk about all types of different specific topics. So tonight is not the reading live. My Facebook Live event where I do my mini readings is on Wednesday at 11 a.m. every week, 11 a.m. Arizona time. So unfortunately, this is not the venue tonight. Tonight's an open discussion, but like I said before, I would love for you to stay. And oh, great, you love that idea. Okay, awesome. I'd love for you to stay and contribute and listen and share. And this is just about helping everyone out there with questions they may have about metaphysical things. And anyhow, so going back to the energy piece of this. Um, so let's see. Carrie, yes, energy is everything. Energy is absolutely everything. Um, so is grace to others and mostly to ourselves because it creates a ripple. Absolutely. That was from Carrie. That's part of it too, is the grace. It's the grace because you're right. Okay, everything's energy. That's a big one, and it's true. And that's why I'm talking so much tonight about helping yourself with the energy of words, thoughts, and so forth. That is something that I do share a lot about, and that I've taught about. I've done lots of metaphysical workshops. I used to do them when they had a continuing education department at our local community college. I taught there for 5 years. So these talked a lot about energy because it's true. We learned that in fifth grade science, fourth grade, fifth grade science. Everything is energy. It just depends on how fast those molecules are vibrating. Okay, we're energy. The table I'm sitting at is energy. Our laptops, our phones, they're all energy. That means our words, our feelings, our thoughts, they all do have an energy vibration, which does cause a ripple effect. I mean, that's exactly, it's like radio waves. It is a vibration, an energy frequency. So that's why I was talking about, being kind to yourself, having grace for yourself. Because one of the things I know that I found really difficult for myself as I was working on healing more and more is trying to be perfect. you know, and that was something that always tripped me up because of my background and what was motivating me before I went through my huge healing journey. And that's why you'll hear me say I am an absolute huge advocate of the fact that not only are we a spiritual being having a human experience, but we are also a human being having a spiritual experience. And I feel like for me, the way I like to, my belief system and what I have found and what I like to encourage people with is remember that you're both of those things. Because so many people talk about, well, why can't I do better? Or why am I negative? Or I should this, or, don't beat myself up. And we do all these don'ts, shouldn't. And, with that, it would then tend to trip me up in my journey because I'd be busy beating myself up because I wasn't perfect or I wasn't more positive or and so this is another reason to offer yourself grace with all of this. Now, some of you are probably further along in your journey than others. Some of you, this may be kind of a basic understanding. However, I know that I open up this forum to all levels. And if you have some great experience or something that you would like to share with this topic, please do. Because again, as I said, this is an interactive experience. I really am not going to stay here for an hour just talking, at you. So, please let me know some of what you might do to help yourself with the chaotic energy. I fully believe in taking at least 5 minutes a day and giving yourself just that peaceful time, shutting it all down, and connect with your spirit team. Okay. And then when I also, I get in, let's say, fear of just what is going on, or the chaos starts to, I feel that energy. I remind myself that I am protected and guided by my spirit team and that they're there to protect me, because sometimes we get so far into this chaotic energy, we're feeling it so much um, that we get dragged into the fear and the anxiety, and our minds start going. It's the ego, right? So if you look at your life and you see how things over time have always worked out. So I remind myself of that too. In the moments that maybe I'm the most fearful, because yes, I'm human and I have some of those, issues also, where no matter what I do, I mean, let me rephrase that. No matter that I do this for a living and I know that my spirit team is there, I'm still human. And so I completely honor that all the time, because the thing about that also is why, okay, if you have the belief system that we're a spiritual being having a human experience, okay, but you don't necessarily include the human having a spiritual experience. So spirit having a human experience. And then, but if you don't include the human having a spiritual experience, you're negating in some ways half of who you are and half of your experience. And that makes it that much harder to balance it out for yourself. And if we ignore it's not there, we're shutting down and not respecting ourselves. We're shutting down and not allowing ourselves to acknowledge that this is the way we feel. And the other thing I like to remind people is treat yourself the way you would your best friend. You would give them grace, you would allow them grace, you would lift them up, you would say that's not true, and you would do your best to uplift them into the positive. Okay. And so I just asked spirit as I was talking to give us another message for everybody, and it's ask for what you want. Okay, so that to me, it's a launching off point, but that to me is saying, spirit, with what I've been saying, with what I've been sharing tonight, is ask for that help from them. Okay. Ask them to be with you. Ask them to comfort you. When you feel, if you ever feel like there's just nothing else, or you're so concerned or so scared or you're spiraling. I mean, people are in all different places with everything going on, emotionally and spiritually. Um, ask your team if you feel that there's just nothing else to hold on to in that moment. Just go back to your trust and your faith that that your team is with you, that your angels are with you. And so that's really important to remember for yourself. And also reach out to people. And again, some of these are just basic, but I feel that, so many of my clients are coming to me and struggling. They're struggling emotionally. They're struggling spiritually. They're struggling financially. And so sometimes it really is about just turning inward with spirit. Okay. And holding on to that, because you can look at your life. I know every single person, every single people. Okay. every single person has had experiences in their life that they can look back and go, I don't know how, but somehow, and that's your spirit team, a miracle showed up. So let me know, you guys, what are some of the things that you do to kind of help yourself? I mean, I heard someone say drinking, but that's not really what I'm getting at. I do know people that are doing that to survive it. A lot of self-talk is really important, you guys. Self-talk, 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 self-talk. Reassure yourself. I know it's really difficult and it's not a magic pill. And it's, I am not diminishing anybody's personal situation or experience. Everybody is having, in some ways, uh, a tough challenge with what's going on. So let me see here. Carrie shared something here. Yes, that is very true, Carrie. What she says is even our freaking toilet bowls and money are energy. You see it everywhere once you see it. I hate myself more than anyone else at times. When I realize that, I say what you do. It's truly sad or scary. I become a different person when I speak to myself with as much grace and love as I would my kids or my best friend. This resonates so much. Carrie, thank you. Thank you for sharing that in this forum and being brave in that way, excuse me. And bless you. Yes. You know, hate is a strong word. And so if you can, for all of us, I've done my best to eradicate that word. It's a very low vibration. And Carrie, I'm not trying to like wag a finger at you or because we all do. It's in our vocabulary. That word is in our vocabulary. And it's a very, very strong word. So one of the things that can help yourselves, hi Miranda, welcome, is is if you can tone down languaging that you use with yourself. Let's say you're still upset with yourself. What I've done, because hate used to be one of my vocabulary, word in my vocabulary. I have to admit, every once in a while, it's still because it's so ingrained, is I can catch myself using it. But strongly dislike is even better than hate. And I get that some of that is society. We've grown up in a society and raised in a society and live in a society where we're told a lot of the negative. We're told, we're not good enough if we don't own this car. We're not, if we're not pretty enough. Yes, Carrie, good for you. She says, I know it's a low vibration and I work on it every day. And Carrie, kudos to you. It takes a lot of courage and and solid bravery to do that. I know. I walked the journey. Hi, Laura. And so it's great that you're working on it every day. And what I want to say to you, Carrie, is keep pushing through it because it's retraining. It's retraining. And I always say that there are steps to a retraining or changing a habit. And first it's an awareness of that you have this habit, or those words that you use. It's you're aware of it. And then you start to recognize that you've used that vocabulary after the fact that you've used it. Then your next step is you'll catch yourself as you're using it. And then you'll be able to preempt it before it actually comes out. And then eventually it really kind of mostly eradicates. So keep working it. I know it's not easy. Yes, yes. You keep, you keep going and relearning. Absolutely, absolutely. And Laura says she paints and organizes or does home improvement projects to help recenter herself. Hey Laura, you want to come over to my place? That's great. Hi, Miranda. Welcome. Give me a second here, everyone. Miranda's new. She wants to know how do my lives work. Okay, I have two different lives. The live tonight that we're at right now is called Table Talk Thursdays, and it is an open forum where you guys are giving me these comments and I'm sharing. I'll answer questions on specific topic. It's about this is to be a forum for all of you. My spirit team said, hey, Let's do something, more for everybody out there so they have a place to come. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're advanced in metaphysical or psychic, whatever it is, it's about offering my experience and wealth of knowledge in these areas so that people can grow and learn. Because I have to tell you, I do this for a living, but I had a spiritual journey to go on and to learn and to grow. And the oh God, I got the chills. The beauty of how my life has changed. I I just have to say I'm speechless. As you move more and more into a more spiritual place, a more loving, compassionate place for yourself and for others, it shifts so much. You're happier. It's gentler. It's a little easier. I'm not saying it's not, I'm not saying it's like, again, it's not the magic pill, but it uplifts you and you see the world in a different way and you don't have those same reactions and you're not looking at it so negatively. So you just keep working through it. Okay, Miranda, I kind of got on a sideline there, but that's what happens in these. Okay, so now you see that it's this forum back and forth discussion. And so you're welcome to ask any questions about a specific topic, metaphysical, inspirational, whatever. And then my other live is on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Arizona time. No, we're not MST right now. We're an hour earlier. That's going to change really soon with daylight or when the clocks fall back. But I'll talk about that then. We never change our time here, and so it gets a little confusing. But that's where I offer free mini readings, Miranda, on Wednesday mornings on my Elyse Ann Psychic page. So those are my two lives right now that I have going, and I do it all for you guys. I love what I do. I've always just wanted to make a difference in the world, and this is my way of doing it. So, I offer private sessions too. I have a lot of clients that come to me for the one-on-one guidance and readings, and I do all kinds of different things. So you guys can check out my website, ElyseAnnPsychic.com, and you can learn all about me and see the different services that I offer. And also, don't forget to follow and like my Elyse Ann Psychic page so you'll get notifications of when I go live. Okay, so let's see. Thank you, Miranda, for asking about how they all work. I'm glad you did that, and I'm glad you're here with us. Okay. Yes, Carrie says, that is always what we knew, and we keep doing differently and better. I like that statement about what we knew, and we were brought into this world completely knowing and encased in God's source love. And that's really what we came with, is the love and the unconditional love. So it's what we really do know. It's just society got a hold of us. And not funny, but society got a hold of us. And, we've been shaped by so much negativity. And that's what's kind of pushes us out of our natural essence of a spiritual being and unconditional love into this human, more of the human interaction and form is what we are pushed into remembering. And that's why the beauty of going down a spiritual journey. When I say spiritual, it's not religious, it's spiritual, it's metaphysical, it's the universal one energy. Into that mindset, it really shifts the way we approach life and live in life. And okay. So let's see. Laura says once she sorts through the feelings, she writes. That is awesome. Journaling is another great way, you guys. If you're feeling life is chaotic, all this energy in the environment around us, and you just want to scream at the walls. Well, first of all, I'll say scream at the walls if you want. Get it out. I'm a firm believer in that. Write, scream, talk it out loud, talk to your spirit team, talk to a best friend. But whatever you can do to kind of undergrace it in a perfect way, easily and effortlessly, positive intentions to release it and let it out. Because if you don't, it just kind of sits there and builds. And also, I'm just going to say, you guys, um, don't always listen to the monkey chatter. That all that chatter, there's so much stuff flying out there. I mean, I know one day about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, I was on Facebook I woke up one morning, got on Facebook, and I even posted about it. I was in such dismay. Um, and Laura, I'll get to your question in just a moment. Thank you for that. Um, it's my heart hurt to see the hate and just the I see. I just don't understand it. I mean, I understand it, but I don't. I never have, even from a very, very little girl. I know that's why I'm here. This is part of my purpose, to spread love and compassion, to help people to get to that place for themselves and for others. And I was so dismayed that I sat like for 3 hours, that I wanted to post something about it, but I kept going around in circles. And finally I was like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna post about it. And I basically said, I've just been sitting here all morning dismayed by the vitriol. And let's all pray for, peace and decency. And I closed my laptop and went back to bed. And that like has never happened for me. And that was my solution in the moment with the chaotic environment. Um, but it allowed me to express. I didn't sit with it. I did for a little bit because I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to word it, what I wanted to put out there. Um, but it allowed me to express it. And then I went back to bed, and then I got up, and I think it might have been the night of my live a couple weeks ago. Maybe that's when it was. Table Talk Thursdays live. I know last week, unfortunately, I was unable to do it. I wasn't feeling well actually, pretty not well, but I'm fine now. I'm fine now. It was an unfortunate experience, but I'm okay. So anyhow, okay. And Angel Heart says, okay, that she also writes to sort through her feelings. So a lot of people need that, the extension of the writing. That's why, I even say talk out loud, writing. It all works to get it out instead of it sitting in your vibration. And that's going to help you to handle the chaos too. Think about it this way. Let's equate it to the physical health. Okay, when we're feeling dragged down, tired, or maybe not feeling well, like people use the term sick. I don't like that. I always say I'm not feeling well. It's more positive spin. You see, I worked very hard to change my words. You can say everything in a positive spin too. But whenever if you think about that, you're more susceptible to other, let's say, illness, right? Because your body just can't fight it hard because it's already fighting what's going on in your body physically, right? It's the same thing for the emotional. Okay. The state with which you fit, from which the state and space from which you approach it. Are you a negative person that's sitting in the turmoil and not moving forward and trying to get some positive out of it? You're going to be, if you will, for lack of a better way of putting it, weaker to combat all that energy. But if you feel pretty strong and you're fighting it, you're working with your team, you're being positive, you have more strength against the energy that is coming at you. So that's like this. If you can get that analogy about the physical first versus the emotional, and why it's so important to do your best to come from a more positive place, because your energy, your essence, everything about you is going to be stronger. And when we're stronger, we can work to help ourselves more. I don't really like to say combat or fight because those are negative words too, but we can help to build ourselves up. We'll have that strength to do it even more when we stand into the positive. Okay, so Laura asked me, I'm curious what you think causes some people to be more sensitive to energy, and why do some people get what I call a heads up about future events that are going to be hard, typically someone dying? Okay. Um, Give me a second. There's a lot to unpack in that. I'm just going to take a little sip of water here. And thank you very much for that inquiry. Okay. Um, Gosh, I could probably talk about that for quite a while. Some people are more sensitive. They're more aware, really. They're more aware, which makes them more sensitive. So, in other words, if somebody, through society again, because we are all born sensitive to the energy, we are all psychic. Yes, we are. Okay. Some people say intuitive. See, to me, I believe that intuition is still psychic. It's just kind of like, the pianist who does only chopsticks versus being able to do a concert, a concerto or whatever. So that's the way I look at it. Intuition is psychicness. It's just how far is it developed. We all have intuition. It's just whether somebody is more aware of it or not. So in other words, or some people aren't as they're not aware because they don't know how to label it either. So in other words, I have a lot of clients that are very new to all of this, and I'll say, well, yes, you're very intuitive too. I mean, some of them I can tell, like they've got it. They've just been ignoring it. They haven't buried it so far that it is buried. It's always sitting there pulsing. It's just how much they're aware, how much they allow, how much their higher self will allow it. But everybody has it though, because if you think about it, I'll say to them and they're like, oh, no, 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 no. I don't have that. I'm not intuitive. And I'll say, well, have you ever had a situation where, let's say you were going to go somewhere and all of a sudden your gut, you were like, nope, not going. I don't know what it is. Okay, that's your intuition. So we all have it. It's just some are more aware. Some, I'm going to say though, some of this is based in the environment that human being is experiencing life in. So what do I mean by that? I have parents who are quite open to psychic readings. I went to, it used to be called Silva Mind Control, but it was all about developing psychic abilities. I think, what do they call it now? The Silva Method. Okay, but back then, I mean, I was a teenager. That tells you how long ago that was. So, I mean, I was exposed to it at a young age. And also, I have to say, too, Laura, that sometimes um, I believe, now this is what I believe to be from my own experiences. Um, I know that I had a purpose here, and that is doing what I do, to help others, to offer, psychic readings and things to help people grow and learn and really embrace this life. Okay, so I can tell you that as a very little girl, I got premonitions all the time. Uh-huh. And even one I remember as a little girl, I didn't even understand the words. I was probably about 8 years old. Eight or I think I was about eight. And I remember it as clear as day. I was standing in my backyard. Okay, so what? So a lot of years ago. I'm 58. So 50 years ago, and I remember it. Um, and I heard clear as day, we're moving towards becoming an elitist country. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know what it meant. Well, whether you agree or not, I believe that that's where we are right now in our society. So 50 years ago, I got the premonition. And so when I'm being told by spirit right now, sometimes that happens for some, that they stay sensitive because you have a specific purpose, or um, spirit wants you to stay aware. I'm not sure exactly how to put that. Hold on a second. They Okay. We all come with a contract to this lifetime. That's my belief. We all sign a contract. Some of us sign to be really part of this whole, if you will, as a light worker, spiritual leader. I use that loosely. To help others, to lead others, to teach them. And so people like myself, let's say, some of that was kept really connected so that when my time was ready to get out there, I could just hook in and go, if that makes sense. I hope that made sense. Um, the premonitions, yeah, I know. I have to, I have to be honest, sweetheart. Sometimes I with that question about, why do some people get a heads up about future events? We all have different ways we receive psychic information and the way spirit, let's say, would utilize us. Okay. Sometimes we're the ones given the heads up and the premonitions because we may be more the ones to share that with the appropriate people. And so, for example, I had a cousin who was very, very ill. And she actually, my grandmother came to me, actually visited me and said, your mom has to call your cousin. And so she knew that I would share it because I believed it. I had enough experiences. So I was chosen to as the one to deliver that message to my mother because I believed it, and so I was going to share it. So sometimes, we're chosen for all kinds of reasons, and I would never say I know all of them. Not a chance. I'm not supposed to either. But some people, we all have our purpose. And some of our gifts are based on what our purposes are in this lifetime. So I hope that made sense to you. If you want some clarity on that, you guys just let me know. Um, Okay, Carrie, let's see. The shift is real, and you keep working on yourself. This is going back to the self-talk. And you keep connecting with people such as yourself. Like attracts like. Absolutely. Like attracts like. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up because it's so true. It's so true because our vibration is out there. Whether we believe we're hiding it or we believe it's not, we communicate through energy all the time. And an example of that I like to share when people go, oh, no, 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 I don't believe that. Well, have you ever been like to, let's say, an event and the door swings open for you to enter? Okay, the entrance. And as soon as the door opens up, you kind of get hit with this, whoa, you get this feeling. Okay, that's your energy and someone else's energy communicating. Okay, we communicate energetically before we even, let's say, communicate physically. Okay. It's true. That's why when you meet certain people, you might instantly like, you haven't even talked to them. You just walked up, hey, nice, and it's like, whoa. Okay, because our energy is already communicating. You already know you're not uh, uh um an attracted like, like attracts like. Well, this person is so opposite of let's say who you are and your energy that you're going to get this little off feeling. It doesn't mean that person is a bad person or ooh. It just means for you, that person is not of a vibrational match. So thank you for bringing that up, Carrie and Miranda. Good. I'm glad that you'll be following us. Okay. Carrie Ann, hi. We have two Carries tonight. Okay, how do we help to keep the vibration up for ourselves and others during these times? It's too much harder these days. Yes. Carrie, I'll talk about a little bit more. Some of that, if you want to go back, I'll post this live right after we're done, and you can go back and do a replay because we did talk a lot about that so far. But let's go back into it. How do you keep the vibration up? Positive talk to yourself no matter what, you keep pushing it out there. um Look at, do things that uplift you. I love music, and I have to be honest, there was a time period that it kind of went out of my life, and I realized looking back that I missed out on a lot of joy for myself. So, and it wasn't the greatest time in my life either. So gee, I could have really helped myself just even to bring music because I love it, speaks to my soul. So little things that we can do for ourselves to help uplift ourselves. Do something you enjoy, have a laugh, shut out the outside world. Don't listen to it. Life is going to go on, you guys. Life is going to keep going on. Okay? We're all going to get through it. In the end, it's all going to be okay. I see why it's all happening. For great change, sometimes we need great chaos for enough people to say, whoa, I'm done. Okay. And I believe that that's what we're seeing. People just don't want the environment we have right now. People are seeing it. It's just not healthy. So, some of that's just the typical shut it out. Talk to your team, Carrie. I talked a lot about that already. Talk to your spirit team. I know for myself when I've been at my wits' end, because I am human and I've had my fears and anxieties. I don't stay in it very long. Used to dwell for months. Now, maybe 3 minutes, and I'm like, okay, enough of that. And I just turn my attention back to my spirit team, knowing that they're with me and protecting me, and guiding me, and that they know and will always have my back. They know what's best for me and will always have my back. I've seen too many things in my life that they have showed up for that I can look back and go, oh, yep, they had my back every single time. That's one of the biggest things because things seem so out of control out there. What can we control? We really don't control anything. We manage things. I don't believe that we control. However, how do we manage it? That's exactly what I said. How do we manage it? Part of the way we manage it is going back to the truth of who we truly are. And we are completely connected, part of the universal one energy. And so sometimes when I know there's been a couple times in the last few months where I hit my wall and all I had left was to look at spirit and say, okay, I know there's a reason. And I know you got my back and everything always works out. Okay, so sometimes that's just all that tidbit that we have, or that little piece that we can hang on to. My mother used to say, when you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on, and that's sometimes, yeah, that's where I hit a couple times. I'd say like 3 times this year that I was really like, whoa, this is too much. And I did unplug and I honored that piece though. You have to honor that piece because if you keep trying to push it away, it's kind of like, okay, I know there's a mess, but I'll just shove it in the closet and then I won't see it. Well, the mess is still going to be there. So allow it, process it, and then release it. That's going to allow you to release it even quicker, if you will. Okay, let's see. Carrie Price says, she screamed at the wall and I've manifested. I've cried, been frustrated. My purpose is the same as yours. The self-doubt is evil and the part of life. Let the BS go and sit with me. Absolutely. I love that. I am doing the positive to get my own body in the way I get to others. Okay. Hi, Tina. Welcome. Hi, Tyra Lee. Welcome. Okay. So that's great, Carrie, because I've done the same. I have let loose. Again, I will never put myself out as some perfect spiritual person. No, because I'm human too. I mean, goodness, I've walked the fires too. And so yeah, self-doubt is a tough one. It is, but the more you keep, I promise you, the more you keep working it, the stronger you're going to get, the more it's going to become a habit, a way of being, to be in the positive. I've done it. And and the other thing, I just want to make sure I heard it loud and clear. Don't ever, no matter how far you are in your journey, everyone, whether you're beginning, you're more of, you feel you're more master level, you're going to slip. And I don't mean to put it out there like, ah, ha, ha. No, it's about making sure you remember you're human. And if you slip and you just go right back into building yourself up again. Um, Life is not a straight line and it is a journey and we are here to grow and learn. So excellent. Okay, so let's see here. Tina and Tyra Lee. Hi. Let's see. Carrie, I feel the awareness came divinely and we're a little more in tune and ready for the journey. Yes, I like that. Tyra Lee, acutely aware, it's guidance from my ancestors. Always pay attention to it. Always. Yes, Tyra Lee. Thank you very, very much. That's very true. We all have different spirit teams, okay? And our masters, our teachers, our guides, our ancestors. When I say guides, I mean spirit guides. Angels, the archangels are for everyone. God's source, Christ energy. Um, you know, Whoever, let's say, as long as it's of a high vibration, whoever's communicating with you, start to pay attention. Okay, and doubt. I know I went through a period of time with that, with my as I was growing my abilities and training my abilities and in preparation of coming, doing this for a living, I went through a lot of self-doubt myself. Went through a lot of doubt myself. That's better. And the thing I can say about that is just keep pushing it. Just keep pushing it. And you guys, if you have some doubt, was that like, did I really hear that? There are several things you can do, or was I really shown that, or is that what they're really saying? You can ask them for a sign, you can ask them for clarity. You can sit with it yourself, in like a um, meditative state, and go in your gut. What does it feel like? Does it feel appropriate? And then as you work with your team even more, you'll get to learn how you communicate with each other. Just like you communicate, with other human beings, you'll have your ways of communicating. So, okay. So, Laura, can you, oh, I lost somebody there. Hold on, there we go. Could you tell me who's in my spirit team? Well, you specifically, that's more of like a reading question, Laura. But as I said, as a generality for everybody, um, um, we do have, I just said a minute ago, we do have angels, our angels, and the conglomerate of angels, archangels, God source, our masters, our teachers, our spirit guides, and those that have crossed over can step in. But let me say, some people go, I've heard this from a lot of people, is that my guardian angel? Is my grandmother who passed over my guardian angel? And the way I answer that is, that's kind of like a earthly bound terminology, because angels have never, they're celestial. They've never, from my experience, my belief, my teachings, everything I've done in this industry, they're celestial beings that have never lived an actual physical human life. Okay, so we use that as like my guardian angel, like that person who loves me, crossover. They are watching over you, absolutely. But if you want to say, are they really an angel? I don't believe that. I believe, it's just like the terminology we call them. Okay, yes, music, Laura. Yes, 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 yes. So Carrie says, Spirit, Universe, God will show us every single time to keep us there. That is true. That is very true. That's why I say ask for a sign. And the thing with asking for a sign is, don't go, where is it? Where is it? Just relax with it. But do yourself a favor and just kind of set up, an awareness for yourself the best you can. Okay. And if, you can say to spirit, hey, and, give me a very clear, I've done that. Give me a very clear sign, under grace and in a perfect way, easily and effortlessly. Whenever you ask for anything, always add those words, because I know, and myself included, we've all had those experiences where we've asked, and boy, oh boy, we got it, but not necessarily the way we wanted. So I have made that a habit for quite a lot of years now. Make sure, under grace in a perfect way, easily and effortlessly. Because spirit doesn't judge it. They just go, oh, that's what she wants. Okay, here you go. So, okay. Jerry, whenever the chaos of the world gets to me, I will think of something funny to make me laugh. Yes, yes, yes. That is beautiful. I love it. I have, as like I said, you guys, I said earlier, I laugh a lot. You see my lives, I'm laughing. I'm laughing with myself. I'm laughing with laughter is really honestly one of the best healers, because you can't help but feel uplifted when you're laughing. It's a vibration, it's a high vibration. So that's beautiful, Jerry. Yes, you're feeling down, you're feeling like, oh, can I even make it? Laugh, comedy, whatever it is that makes you laugh and brings you joy. The music sings to my soul. That vibrates me off the ground. So I'll put on music. So things like that will really hit you in a very positive way is excellent. Okay, Laura, I feel pressed. Hi, Myra. Welcome. I feel pressed to share my positive spin on current times. I believe that our society has operated the same since we shifted into the industrial era in the early 1900s. However, we've been in the technology era for going on 20 years, and the landscape of our society hasn't changed. It hasn't had to change until now. So I think the world is going through growing pains in order to come fully into the technology era. Um, I see that on the physical level. Yes. Yes. I could go with that. Yeah. I look at things from the spiritual level, and what I see is we're working towards a world of more love and compassion. That's what I see on the other end of this, or the other side of this. You know, it's not pretty, but change, lots of times, really huge change. And this will be a very fundamental, almost tectonic shift. Okay. But it had to almost, didn't have to get so bad for people to notice. But if you notice, people have had enough. They finally got to the cup runneth over, not in a good way moment. And you need that collective to want something different for this change to shift. If you listen to a lot of people want more peace. They want more civility. And so we had to unearth a lot of the ugly, unfortunately, to move through it, to heal it, to process it, so we can end up on the other side, so we can all have a much happier, more compassionate life. So I hope that answered or gave you some insight as to how I see it on this from the spiritual level. Okay, let's see. Oh, very cool. Thank you. So Laura says, so by keeping that in mind, I feel excited to see how things are changing. Yes, I keep saying we are going. Life is going to keep going. It's going to keep going. What it looks like, I believe it's going to get better and a lot better. Timing, I'm not going to say anything right now. Not really sure, to be honest. And to be honest, I have to be honest, as psychic as I am, that's one thing that I've stayed out of because I have my own feelings about certain things. And in that moment, I can detach from a lot of things. And I can even read for my family members, which a lot of psychics can't. But I can totally detach and get into a different state with it. But this one is a biggie for me too. I'm human, I'm experiencing it. So I haven't even really gotten the details from them because in some ways I don't want to know. I know I'm going to be okay. I know we're all going to be okay. So that's what I want to share with that. Okay. So Mayra says, hi, Martha. Let's see. Oh, you guys, this is great. Let's see what I can fit in the last few minutes. I'm so glad you guys are asking all these questions. Yay! This is what this is all about. I love it. Okay, thank you. Does everyone have the ability to communicate? Is it something you have to practice or some people are just lucky? Okay, yes, absolutely. Everyone has the ability to communicate. Absolutely. Um, Practice, I would say, depends on how much you want to hone your skills, but yes. Because the other thing to remember when you're opening yourself up to like psychic and psychic information, like someone like me, I really went through some self-training. I had a mentor. I did a lot of figuring it out for myself, but I had to work with the energy. I had to, excuse me, experience the energy. I had experiences that most people never want to have. But it it got me into the position where I can recognize when the energy is of a higher vibration versus maybe a lower vibration. And the practice is, yes, the ego gets in the way. Oh, really? Was that really what I heard? So yes, practicing is a good way. And also, I work with clients on this too. I've done a lot of one-on-one sessions with people to develop their own abilities. Everybody's different in the way they receive, the way they're that's not quite the right word. I was gonna say molded, but their life experiences, whether they're open, how much they're open, what kind of blocks they may have. So I wouldn't say that some people are just lucky. We all have the ability. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure you were here. It's kind of like, do you play chopsticks or can you play a concert? I'm sorry, a concerto on the piano. Ooh, lost that for a moment. So that's the difference. How much have you practiced? How much have you worked with the energy? It's just like anything else. When you train for anything else, think about for a job. You start here, but then the more you get to learn, the more you get to do your job, the more you know, and the stronger you are in it. So, okay, let's see. I'm going to fit in. I got a couple other questions here. When I need to verify if that was a sign or not, you get your answers from a pendulum. That's awesome. It serves you well. Entirely, I use pendulums sometimes too. I do know though, for myself, when I first started using pendulums, I knew I could make it do what I wanted it to. So I couldn't use the pendulum for the longest time because I was too like, okay, go this. I really want to hear a yes, so that's great. And I know that there are tools and ways that you can clear that energy and make sure that you're not interfering with it. But yes, pendulums are a great tool. Absolutely. Okay, so Martha, Elyse, do spirit guides show themselves as shadows? Okay. That's going to be our last question for tonight. And the answer is yes, they can. Any spirit can show themselves as a shadow. Why do they do that? Well, several things with that, because people do say to me, again, there are two clients have come to me a lot and said, starting to see like the shadowy figures. And to someone that hasn't had the experience a lot or the knowledge behind it, it Sherry says she can't use a pendulum either. That's great. Not really, but I get it. Oh, her spiritualist church helps her. Tyree says that. Okay, I'm sorry, Marty. Getting back to what you were asking. Um, because I was very aware from a very little girl. That's why until about the last year, okay, you already know how old I am. Okay, I always had to have a nightlight on. Could not sleep in the dark. I was terrified because I recognized as I got older that when I was little, I would see those shadows and it terrified me. But what it is they're really not, people think, oh, it's negative, it's bad, it's lower vibration. But that's not true necessarily. Some spirits just don't want to be identified, but they want to be acknowledged or noticed. So, yes, lots of times they can show up as shadows, and our spirit guides are spirit, are in the spirit world. They are all energy. That's how all it's all through energy. Everything, all through energy. That's how we communicate. I started out the live with that. And so it looks like, Spirit is saying this is where we came full circle to. And I know there's a lot more to talk about this. And Carrie, last night too, I don't like the dark. I know, right? Um, God, I could go on forever and ever, but our hour tonight for Tabletop Thursdays is over. I'm so happy. I'm sure you can see it on my face. I'm so glad you guys came and shared and asked questions. And I am hoping you will come every week because this is a weekly Thursday Facebook Live event. And so it is 7 p.m. Arizona time. We are 1 hour earlier than Mountain Standard Time right now. Right now. Very soon it's changing when the rest of the country turns back their clocks and we stay the same. But I'll let you know about that. Remember to follow and like my Elyse Ann Psychic page. You'll get notifications of my lives. I do have another live during the week where I do free psychic mini readings, and that's on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Arizona time. And on my Elyse Ann Psychic page, check out my website. I work with my clients one-on-one. Private sessions, space clearings, all kinds of things. Learn about me. Tell me what you think. And I hope you guys, I'll see you again really soon. Take care. Have a blessed night. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for your thank yous. All right. Take care. Just remember, we're going to get through it. Much love, you guys. Thanks.